Hey guys, it's Rich with your Monday Spot in Pagan Perspective. This week we're talking about wands and Athames. This week's topic comes from Wolffa, who writes, "The usage of wands and Athames." That's it. So they give us the run of the gambit of do we use them, do we not, and what do we use them for? So this week's topic is going to be kind of one-sided for me. I have an Athame. Right now it's in the US because I knew I was going to be staying in a dorm and I wasn't going to be able to have my Athame here because of the blade length. And it's not a big blade, it's only probably about 6 inches long. But all in all, I don't usually use my Athame. I know some people are drawn to having a ritual blade or having a blade that they use in general for magical purpose, whether it be strictly as using it for energy work, cord cutting, stuff like that, or using it for herbs and stuff like that, which is traditionally, at least in Wicca, called a boline, which has a little curve to it. And I've never really felt the need as much for an Athame. It's not something that I use that often. It's not something that really has a lot of ritual use for me. And so for my personal practice, I use my Athame very sparingly. So that's another reason I did not bring it. Maybe in the future I'll work more with the blade and more with the energy work and the usage that goes along with the Athame. But for me right now, it's not something that really gets used that often. However, my wand does get used a lot more than my Athame. This is a clay chakra wand. This is the first wand that I bought, and it has the chakra representations with stones and whatnot on this. I think I may have done a video either on here or on my personal channel talking about my wand, but I use this for directing energy and whatnot, the usual usage of a wand. Other than that, my wand has kind of gone out of usage whenever I bought my second wand, which I used more for the psychic, the mental type of working, the energy working with my mind and whatnot. However, whenever I got to Korea, it got broke. So I am going to repurpose this and probably buy a new one. This is a selenite wand. I think I might actually go for a clear quartz in the future, but yeah, my wand broke. But that's okay because, like I said, I'm going to reuse it, repurpose it for something else. I actually might even wrap it and recreate it into a wand so I can still use it in my working. I haven't really figured all that out yet, so it's still something that's in the back of my mind that I may do. But this selenite wand I've used for energy work, for clearing my mind, for setting intention of anything that had to do with mental or psychic work, any type of clarity that was needed. I mean, selenite is used for so many different things. So for me, the selenite wand, which I guess I could still use this end, being the pointy end, I guess I could still use this as a wand because it still fits relatively easily in my hand, doesn't have any sharp points, anything like that. So I could probably still use it just like this, and I may. So that's something that I will decide in the future. But for the most part, I do enjoy using my chakra wand. Like I said, this is my first wand that I bought. It's something that I really do connect with. Me and this wand have gone through some really, I don't want to say dark times, but learning periods. We've gone through some really tough periods of learning and growing and influencing the world around us. So this wand has a lot of meaning to me, and I want to make sure that I have it for years to come. Like I said, I don't really use it as much as I used to, basically because recently the circle casting that I've been doing is more of an energetic circle casting where I make an energy ball, and I've talked about this on this channel before, how I do kind of like I'm the atom and or the nucleus of the of the atom and I shoot it around like the electrons of an atom. So I've been working a lot more with that type of circle casting, though I do like to actually walk around a space that is setting a boundary, setting a circle, setting my ritual area. So I do enjoy using my wand for directing energy that way. Also, directing energy towards anything in particular is something that I also do with my wand. So whenever it comes to using my wand, I do enjoy using it. It is probably one of the most used tools in my my witchy tool bag, I guess you would say, my witchy kit that I actually use. It's something that I have always been drawn to whenever it comes to ritual tools. I've always been drawn more towards the wand than the Athame. Even more than I've been drawn to the chalice, even though I love my chalice and I really, really long to have it here and be using it in ritual. And the reason I don't have my chalice here is because it is blown glass and I didn't want it to break on shipment like my other wand did. So it is one of those ritual tools that I really wish I had here and was able to use in my practice while here in Korea. I only have a few months more without it, so I'm not that terribly heartbroken. I'm actually really excited to get back home and start going through the boxes and unpacking all of my ritual tools and reconnecting with everything. But the wand is one of the ritual tools that I came here with, that I knew that I would really not want to do without. Not that I can't do without it, it's that I didn't want to do without it. So for me, the wand is, like I said, probably one of the most used tools. Even the cauldron, especially here, the cauldron hasn't gotten used at all, but I did not bring my usual cauldron, my little tiny cauldron. I actually bought extra ones here whenever I went to an auction. So even then, the cauldron doesn't get used nearly as much as my wand does. So just one of those ritual tools that I absolutely love to have in my hand, that I can feel the energy going through, that I can see the energy going out of, and knowing that it is inherently an extension of me. So absolutely love talking about the wand. And of course, there are tons of different types of wands out there, and they have different usages depending on what the wood is. They have traditional uses depending on what the wood is, and they have usages depending on what the wood is and what it means to you. So it all depends on what the wood means to you and how you connect with that wood, or if you go by the traditional meanings. For me, having a wood wand is something that may be in my future, but for now, the clay wand is something that I can use, and it's something that is easy enough for me to use and easy enough for me to see my energy going through. And even with the selenite wand, I had no problem connecting to it. I knew it was meant for me specifically, and I could feel and see the energy going out of it, being directed by my will. So for me, the wand is the tool of choice. Never really had an inkling for a blade, for an Athame. Never had a real need for it, even though it has been useful in my practice in the past. And that does not negate that the Athame might not be, in the future, having more of a presence in my practice. And I want to kind of hit that home a little bit, that as you change, as your practice changes, as your label changes, as we talked earlier this month, as any of those things change, go ahead, if you have those tools still that you might have purchased at the beginning of your practice and you find that they're not really speaking to you at that time, if you find later on that your practice has changed, you have changed, you've grown more of an appreciation for something, go back to that, hold that item, and see if it does speak to you a little bit more than what it did in the past. So in the future, I'm going to hold my blade. I'm going to hold my Athame. I'm going to say, hey, let's do some workings together. Let's do something with each other. And connect with it a little bit more. I might find in the future that the Athames has more of a pronounced presence in my practice than my wand does. As of right now, though, not really. In the future, it could very much change the other way. And I think that's always something to keep in mind whenever it comes to your practice, that it may change at any time. It could change from liking one tool to liking another tool, or having a use for one tool over having a use for another tool. It could have a change in, what deity you practice with or how you do your ritual. Always keeping yourself open and always being open to the possibilities that come to you. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up and wish you love, hugs, and ladybugs. Until next week, bye-bye.